Hey guys, this is Andrew Cobb here, and today I'm going to be telling you guys about my coronavirus Tableau workbook. So what I basically did is I came up with some questions that I could answer with the visualizations that we've learned during the class to kind of show what we've learned. And I just used the coronavirus Tableau example workbook right off the website and use that to create some visualizations to answer my questions. So first of all, I'll just read off my questions and then we'll go through each of my visualizations and I'll tell you what I did on each of those to make them. And then closer towards the end, I'll go through my dashboards and kind of show you what each of the visualizations does and shows. So to start off, my first question was, what region has the most cases and deaths? And for this question, I used a bar chart. But before I got started, I had to break up my map into regions. So I got on the CDC website and looked at what states are in each region, and I also watched the video example of the mapping function in week 4 to separate my regions on my map. So based off the CDC website of the regions, there's West, Midwest, Northeast, and South, as you can see here on my bar chart. But for this question, I just used a simple bar chart. But like I said, first I used the mapping function on Tableau to split up the country into regions. I drag province state to the middle of my sheet. That's over here. I just dragged that to the middle of my sheet and it pulled up the map. I then changed my marks to circle, and with that I was able to use the lasso function and select my states and my regions to create my groups. I edited my aliases of my groupings to correspond to the regions they're in and changed my group title to regions. So actually made this little dimension over here, so from that map I was able to make a dimension called regions. But for this question, I'm trying to find out what region has the most cases and deaths, so I'm going to use my simple bar chart here. To do that, I removed longitude and latitude and changed my marks to bars right here. Then I put regions in my rows, and last date positive cases and last date deaths in columns up here. So when I did this, it pulled up actually 2 bar charts. So to make this into a single bar chart, I right clicked on one of the measure pills up here and I clicked on dual axis. Then I right clicked on one of the axes in the chart and selected synchronize axis. So that's how these are both like maxed out at 2000K. I then changed my size of my bars for each measure in the marks card so I could see the difference in deaths and cases bars and which region had the highest for both. So that I came over here and for each of these measures I changed the size. So this is my biggest bars, my deaths. So these are down here. So those are my deaths, and obviously my cases are these longer bars. can see they're only half the size. So from this visualization, you can obviously see which regions have the highest in deaths and also which ones have the highest cases. So the South has the highest cases while the Northeast has the most deaths. So I'll move on to question 2. Question 2 was, what state in each region has the highest? So highest cases as well as the highest deaths. And so I made a map for each of those. So like I said, for this question I used the map sheet I made based off the example coronavirus initiative video listed in week 4. So I guess I took that map example and just kind of made my own based off of that. To do this, I pulled province state to the middle. And changed my marks card to map. Then pulled my regions field that I made, and for the last question, into the filter box. Right clicked on the regions pill in the filter and selected show filter. So that's how that's over here. This, like I said, created a little box filter in the upper right hand corner of the sheet. I clicked on the arrow in the corner of the regions filter box and selected single value drop down. That's why it's only this little box instead of a long, really long list. This will allow you to select which region you want to select at a time. You then drag last date positive cases into the color marks card. Right click on it, select filter, and make maximum amount of, I did 500,000, so you can obviously see which colors are darker because your max is 509. So next you want to change the color to red by clicking on colors in the marks card. Edit the colors and select red, which we've obviously done. Click out of that. To choose each state in the region with the most cases, use your regions filter drop down and select the region. So this is going to zoom you in. Let's go to the South. That just opens up that region. Okay, so once you get to this point, right click on the darkest state under mark label, click on always show. This will show the number of cases for that state as a label signifying that it is the state with the most. So I only put labels on the states with the most. Alright. So for deaths, you would basically do the same thing, but for these, since I made them black, it's kind of hard to see. So I went to not format, but edit, and then I changed that to my font to white, and I did it under annotation, and then removed my line and my shading so you could just see the number on that. So This is, this is my cases map, and this is my deaths map. Okay, so moving on to question 3, how does the Southeast rank in cases compared to the rest of the U.S.? So for this question, I used bubble charts. So here's my one for cases, here's my one for deaths. To do this, I changed the chart to circle in the marks card, and I drag the region's dimension to the filter box. Click out of this so I can show you. I drag my regions to the filter box and selected all but other. So, Northeast, Southwest, Midwest, except for other. That other was listed in there, but you don't want to select that because these are the only ones you care about. I then drag my measures of deaths or positive cases to color and the size boxes. First, I dragged my region's dimension to color and text boxes so you can actually read the number of deaths or cases and which state it is. So by the size of the bubbles, you can see which region in each of these is the highest compared to the rest of the country. So for your deaths, the Northeast is obviously the biggest. For your cases, the South is obviously the biggest. That shows you how much compared to the rest of the country. For question 4, how does Kentucky rank in cases compared to the rest of the Southeast? For that, I used, if I can find it, that's something I'll come to next. Okay, for that, I also used a bar chart. So, to give a visual for this question, I used a side-by-side bar chart of the Southeast comparing the cases and deaths in each state and split the bars up by county. So that's why all these bars are different colors. First, I'm going to drag my Southeastern region set. I actually made a set of the Southeast states right here. So drag that set containing only those states to the rows bar. I'm going to right click on that pill and change it to show members in set. If not, it would just be in and out. But I clicked on it to show members in set, so it'll actually show all the states. I'm going to then add my cases and deaths measures to the columns bar. I'm going to click on my measures axis so that the bars are organized in descending order. If you want them looking like that, it'll be easier to identify which ones are biggest and smallest. I'm going to add county to color in the marks card and then sort it in by field in descending order based on the sum of the measure for each bar chart. Since the chart is in descending order by state, you can easily see how Kentucky ranks compared to the other states in the Southeast. See, Kentucky's 4th from the bottom, and over here it's it's about third if you look at it compared to the other bars. So the colored bars based on county, it also adds to my next question, which is what are the major hotspots in the Southeast? So looking through this, you can see based on the size of the colors in each bar that are the counties, you can see which spots are kind of hot spots in the Southeast. But to get a better visualization of that, I used tree maps. So that question is, what are the major hot spots in the Southeast? To do that, first I dragged the southeastern region set that I made into the color box in the marks card. So this one just shows province state. Either way, if you want to drag province state through there and just kind of filter it out to show the southeastern states, that's fine too. No, that's different. Try to find my other one. Okay, this is the one on deaths. You can see where I use southeastern region for color, or in the color box in the marks card. Okay, I right click on the pill and select show all members in set. So on the southeastern region, again, you don't want it to show in and out. You want to show all the members in the set, so all the states in the Southeast. Then drag my measures that are last day deaths or cases to the size box in the marks card. So, see. Then I drag county names to text in the marks card. So this is actually going to break up each of these big boxes into little boxes based on the county name. So as you can see, these larger counties are the ones in each state that are contributing most to coronavirus deaths. So they're the hot spots in each state. So kind of bring that all together. I made a few dashboards. This is my first one. This is the data broken up by regions, cases and deaths by regions, using my bar chart, my bubble chart. This shows the state ranking, and also breaks it up into counties on this bar chart. So, I mean, you can just go over these and it pulls up the names and numbers on each of those. On this one, I put both my maps for states with most cases and deaths, and then also made this highlight table so you can also see, you know, which states are the highest in each region. And then I made a dashboard with my tree maps to show areas in each state that have the highest cases and deaths. So that pretty much sums up my coronavirus Tableau workbook, and some visualizations that we learned in this class.